Well, like Molly said, welcome, and we're glad you're here. I am really excited for this class tonight. I'm actually really excited that I'm going first because I have my notebook and my pen ready, and I'm super ready to just absorb all this information from these moms who are even more experienced than I am. So I just wanted to start us off by just telling you guys some tried and true tricks that we've picked up over the last few years for a great school day. I know we've kind of titled this school year for special needs kiddos, and I don't actually have any kiddos with an official diagnosis, but I have some super sensory sensitive kids. And I mean, aren't we all? I think deep down, everybody definitely has some sensory issues. And I do suspect that my daughter is on the spectrum somewhere. But Lucy's thing that she really struggles with is she is just so emotional. She is such a feeler, and she just gets um just wound up, and just she feels things deeper than I do, than most people do, I think. And she really does struggle during the school year with her emotions. And over the last couple of years, she's heading into third grade. So over the last couple of years, we have come up with a formula that is working really, really well. And I wanted to share it with you guys because not only do I notice a difference in her energy when she comes home, because even if your kid has a great school day, a lot of times when they get into the car and they get home and back into that safe zone, your kid will just, blah, they just cry and have temper tantrums and major like emotional meltdowns. And it's because these poor kids had to have it all together all day. And that's really, really hard. Like, have you ever done that? Like, have you ever gone somewhere? Like, convention is a good example, where all day you have to be on and you're peopling and it's fun and you love it. But then you get back to your hotel room and you're like, I need to go hide in my bathtub for like 5 hours or something. This is every day for these kiddos. And it's especially hard for our sensory kids and the ones who are just feelers and emotional. And so even Lucy's teachers will come to me and say, the days that she comes in smelling super, super oily, they are different. They are different. And I'm not always the best at being super consistent, but when I am, it is so much better for her, and it's better for her teachers, and it's better for me when she comes home. And so staying consistent is something that has to be high priority for us. So here's what we do in the mornings for Lucy. And honestly, I do it for all of us that are awake because we can all benefit from it, but this is Lucy's routine. So the number one thing that like we just cannot skip this, we cannot skip it, is Endoflex. Guys, let's not forget that our children have hormones too. And a lot of this emotional stuff is just hormone stuff that is domino affecting. And these kids are getting labeled as difficult or having behavior problems or having, attention problems. And really it all is rooted with their hormones so often. And so starting with Endoflex is just absolutely necessary for her. It helps her just stay level and feel like she's in control of her emotions. The next thing is joy. And I know not everybody is really excited about joy, especially in the beginning. I think it is such a strong floral aroma that a lot of people they have to kind of work their way up to joy. At least that's what I've heard. But Lucy, oh my gosh, I noticed a difference in her mannerisms and just the way she carries herself immediately. Like, there have been so many tearful mornings that all she has to do, and she knows it now. She will come to me and go, Mom, I just really need some joy. And so we put it over her heart, and I have her do it so that she has some left on her hands. And then she rubs her hands together, and we'll just spend a few minutes cupping the joy. So those two things, I mean, I have a few others I'm going to mention that are important, but those two, absolute game changers. The other one that is a big favorite for us is multigreens. Not only is it a great way to get a huge boost of vitamins and antioxidants and nice, healthy, sustainable energy, but it's also super supportive of hormones. Ningxia Red, she gets 1 ounce every morning. And I know that Ningxia Red sometimes can be like a commitment to people. It's something you have to work into the budget. But I've even heard that for little kids, even half an ounce is very, very beneficial. And before I got to the point where Ningxia Red was a regular thing in our budget for the whole family every day, we would just take turns. So I drank it every day because taking care of mom is very, very important. But with the kids, we would just rotate. And Lucy would get it one day, then Sam would get it the next day, and then Jack would get it the next day, and we would just rotate. Because I figured getting that much, you know, the nutrients, the antioxidants, and the vitamins, and all of the benefits of Ningxia Red, getting it every third day was still a million times better than not drinking it at all. So if you are having a hard time fitting Ningxia into your budget, start with a 2-pack, make sure that mama's getting at least an ounce every day. And then for the rest of the family, just, or I say mom, but whoever is highest priority when it comes to maybe health crisis or, you know, health goals that you're really aiming towards, start with, you know, the person who has those high priority health goals, and everybody else just rotate until it can be something that is comfortable in your budget. But I know we're going to talk about Ningxia Red later, so I'll move on from that. And then White Angelica, because like I said, Lucy is a massive empath, and she feels her emotions, but she also absorbs other people's emotions. She's very sensitive to energy. And so White Angelica is something that we just keep all our oils lined up right there. The Endoflex, the Joy, and the White Angelica are just ready to go each morning. Along with that is affirmations, prayers before she leaves, and music that's like high vibes, usually Christian praise and worship music, because that's just the kind of actual words that we want to be feeding ourselves in the morning. So I am going to talk about our nighttime routine as well. I know I'm probably going over time, so I will go fast. But every evening we take an Epsom salt bath, and Epsom salts have so many benefits that are more than just relaxing. Before you forget, make yourself a note to do some research and Google the benefits of Epsom salt baths. But it's a great way to restore magnesium. And I am going to talk a second about Unwind as well, which has magnesium in it. But the most efficient way to absorb magnesium is through your skin. And so it restores magnesium. It's a great way to detox. And a lot of this junk that she's picking up through the day, this emotional stuff, you can detox that this way. It's also very soothing for skin and pain and inflammation. And again, with these sensory kids, a lot of what bothers them and gets them riled up is inflammation, pain, itchy, dry skin, stuff that they can't verbalize what it is that's irritating them. But it really is just something as simple as you or I might be able to say, I have a headache, or my skin is dry and itchy and I need some lotion or something. And that can be enough to just really, especially little kids have a hard time verbalizing what it is that's bothering them. Little irritations can just really put them over the edge and lead to a meltdown. And so Epsom salt baths are great for soothing inflammation, pain. It also improves sleep quality. And I am a huge proponent of appropriate bedtimes for little kids. Your kids need good sleep. They need a lot of sleep. And helping them relax before bed is a great way to make sure that bedtime just goes really well. But also something I thought was really interesting is that Epsom salts promote healing of the nervous system. And that has to do with the electrolytes that are reintroduced into their system during that bath. So definitely dump a cup of Epsom salts in a bath. I used to worry about washing your hair when the Epsom salts were in there, but it turns out it's good for hair too. So just dump it right in the bath. Now, as far as our products we use at nighttime, we do Juvaflex every night over the liver, because it helps her process some of the emotions and feelings and negativity that she's picked up through the day. So Juvaflex. We are loving Unwind. Unwind is back in stock. I picked up several boxes after convention because as soon as I heard what it was, I was like, we need this in our life. So we are loving Unwind. We always pick some type of a grounding oil, and I let her pick, but some of her favorites are Gathering and Grounding. And yeah, again, with the prayer and the affirmations, and the last thing she hears at night is, you know, something that is positive and is a auditory sound that she is absorbing, because we are all about those vibes and positive energies. So I'm sure I went over, and I know I talked fast, so I'm gonna I feel like some questions popped up. Somebody asked how old Lucy was. She will be 9 in October. She has been taking pills for a couple years now. We had a health thing a while back where she had to take oodles and oodles of Thyromin. And so she learned to take pills with Thyromin. So if your kids can't take pills, then you should teach them how to, because they can take pills. So I'll pass the torch to Joy because I know she's trying to leave, but I'll stick around for questions and stuff afterwards.
Yes, your children can learn how to take pills. And if you want ideas, hit Madison up or hit me up, because I taught a 3-year-old how to swallow pills. So I am here to share about CBD. And in the Facebook event, y'all, I taught a 20-minute class on CBD, and I'm going to post the YouTube link to it because the team only gave me like 10 minutes to cover CBD, and that 20-minute class was supposed to be a 10-minute class, and well, you know, it went over and I can't go over tonight. So what is CBD? Why do you need CBD? CBD is a chemical constituent of the hemp plant, meaning you've got the hemp plant and CBD is just one of the ingredients in that plant. Why do you need CBD? Why do your kids need CBD? You have an endocannabinoid system. The same way your child has a neurotransmitter system in its brain. And by the way, I can't remember if Madison talked about AminoWise, but y'all, AminoWise and brain health go hand in hand. So often when we think about AminoWise, we think, oh, muscle builders, muscle recovery, you know, big jocks in the gym. No, 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 no. Your child needs AminoWise because amino acids build neurotransmitters. Your child needs CBD because your child has an endocannabinoid system. Back before 1937, when the government outlawed hemp in the US, hemp was a part of our natural food chain. The cows ate the hemp plant in the fields. And so we got it in our milk, and we got it in our meat, and we got it from various sources in our food chain. We have been CBD deprived since 1937. So why is it like, oh my gosh, CBD, it's the cure-all? No, it's not. Imagine if we outlawed vitamin C and outlawed it for 50 years and then suddenly reintroduced CBD into your available supplementation. Oh my goodness, vitamin C, it's like the cure-all. No, it's not. It is a necessary nutrient for your body to function at optimal levels. Okay? So in my family, I've got a broad spectrum of personalities. I have 5 kids. I've got a child that at 3 was diagnosed sensory processing challenged. We have overcome that. We healed his digestive system. It linked back to extensive antibiotic use as an infant. We healed his gut, and y'all, you wouldn't know it. I mean, I can still see he's got a few things, but we actually had him retested and he didn't qualify for the helps anymore. And I've got a child that's dyslexic, severely dyslexic. She's also ADD, ADHD. CBD, vetiver behind her ears, and Ninja Nitro. Her teacher came to me and said, I don't know what you did to this kid, but this kid has been focused for the last 10 days. So there are options and possibilities to support your kid's level of focus. What does your kid need? I don't know, but let's figure it out. Let's explore that. And there's different ways. CBD is also really important for the inflammatory process, or modulating the inflammatory process in your body. And I'm going to take 2 seconds and I'm going to get on a soapbox. Chronic disease is present in your body long before you know it's there. People don't just wake up and have arthritis one day, okay? It's very rare. Maybe acute rheumatoid arthritis may appear overnight, but often there's a disease process that kind of set that into motion. What if you gave your child a small dose of a supplement that their body needs that modulated a healthy inflammation response? CBD can do that for your child's body. CBD, if it's what your child needs, can help with focus. When my daughter Lily takes CBD, her her ADD kind of all over the place tumbleweed really grounds, and it's like her feet come back to earth. CBD can help with sleep. Melinda's got a funny story about Joy Ballard and CBD at convention 2 years ago. And the first time I dosed myself, I took a very nice 45-minute nap during the CBD class that I was supposed to be listening to and learning all about CBD. So it works to support good, restful sleep. And y'all, going into the fall that we as moms are facing and that our children are facing, sleep is critical. Like, I would say it is one of the most critical things that you need to ensure your child is getting adequate sleep. And maybe we should do a Mama Bear class on sleep and how we get our kids to sleep. But why CBD? Because you have an endocannabinoid system that it is the nutrient, it is the chemical messenger in that system. Now, why Young Living? Why can't I go to the health food store and buy a CBD there? Why can't I go to some of these other MLMs that I've seen pop up and buy CBD from them? Okay, first of all, Young Living is my easy button. I trust them. I trust them. I trust them. Their seed to seal quality control is unmatched in any company. The hemp plant is called a phytoremediator. And that's a really big word for suckerfish. It is the suckerfish of the earth, meaning it is what God put on the earth to suck up the toxins out of the soil and remediate that soil. Now, why is that such a big deal? Glyphosate, which is Roundup, stays in the soil for 30 years. That's a 30. 30 years, glyphosate stays in the soil. That's a big deal. When someone becomes organic certified through the normal means in the United States, do you know that it only takes 3 years, 1, 2, 3, not 30, 3 years of not using chemicals on that ground? And then they're organic certified. Young Living's hemp farm is virgin soil. It has never had chemicals used on it. That's a big deal, because if you're taking something for your health, you want to know that you're not putting toxins inside at the same time. And so if you're dealing with a plant that the plant intentionally absorbs toxins, imagine if you take a hemp that's not organic, or imagine if you take a hemp from take CBD from a farm that, they've only been organic for 6 years. Glyphosate lasts 30 years. So imagine what those hemp plants are pulling into their plant bodies. The other thing is how you extract the CBD out of the hemp plant. You can do it really fast, or you can do it in a healthy way. What do you think most CBD companies do? Do they do it fast and unhealthy, or do they do it slow and healthy? So again, Young Living, it's my easy button. How much does your kid need? I don't know. Each of my kids takes a different amount. Not all of them take it every day. CBD has a half-life in your body of when you take it, it takes 48 hours for half of it to get out of your body. So one dose every 2 days is a decent amount of CBD if your body is generally healthy and your mind is generally focused. But you do need to be supplementing cannabinoids for your endocannabinoid system and for your child's brain to be calm and focused going into a very chaotic, very strange season that we're in. CBD would be a tremendous gift to them. Start with half a dropper at night. That way, if it knocks them out, like it did me at convention 2 years ago, they're not going to school fighting the sleepy eyes. Half a dropper, see how their body responds. If you're not getting the response you want, go up to a full dropper. Now, a word about concentration. Young Living offers 500 milligram bottles and 1,000 milligram bottles. What does that mean? Well, when you take a single pill of Tylenol and you buy a 250 milligram bottle, you're getting 250 milligrams per tablet. That's not how it is with the CBD that Young Living offers. The 500 milligram bottle and the 1,000 milligram bottle is the number of milligrams in that entire bottle. So it's a concentration. It's kind of like orange juice. Did you add more water or did you take less water? So the dropper of a 500 milligram bottle has 16.66 milligrams of CBD in a full dropper. The 1,000 milligram bottle has 33 point something milligrams in a full dropper out of that 1,000 milligram bottle. So in my mommy's perspective, I cry less if the 500 milligram bottle gets spilled. I cry more if the 1,000 milligram bottle gets spilled. But if I buy the 1,000 milligram bottle, which is a little bit cheaper per milligram, if I'm looking for a half a dropper, I would probably just do a quarter of a dropper. So it will last you longer. But if your house is as crazy as my house and things get tipped over, you're going to lose a lot more. So why CBD? Your body needs it. It has an endocannabinoid system. Why Young Living? They're the easy button. They are who I trust. They're the only company I trust. And their farm is on virgin soil. That's huge. How do you take it? Well, if you're a rule follower, the label says external use only. Why? Well, the government says external use only. Now, I'm in the driver's seat of my health. I make decisions for my children. I decide what goes in, on, and around my body. Our CBD has stevia in it. My skin doesn't have taste buds. So I choose to put the CBD under my tongue and under my kids' tongues. Your body needs it. Young Living is your easy button. You can ingest it. All right. I'm sorry, I went over.
You're fine. Hey, I could listen to you talk all day. I mean, we can just stop the class now. I love it whenever you
I will go post my class in the group. But
I think it's awesome. I love your explanation because you simplify it for us. And so I love it. Thank you so much, Joy, for that. CBD is a game changer for our family too. I'm going to share with you about sports. So I will touch on the CBD muscle rub at the end of my talk here on sports. So I am a boy mom. I have 3 boys. 2 of them, they are 14, 12, and 6. So 2 of them are teenagers that are very active in sports, have been very active in sports their whole life. And so I'm going to tell you like our rundown of this is what we use, this is how we prepare, this is how we do things in our house for sports. Okay, so prior to sports, our go-tos are Stress Away and Valor. And a lot of times I will even diffuse these if I know it's game day or if I know that it's something, because literally, like, you know, as adults, if we know we have something coming up at work or our meeting at work or something, a test even, you know, for kids, if there's something coming up, we start mentally preparing for it and mentally stressing out over it. I know a couple of you guys mentioned, you know, your teachers and you're stressing out over the school year and stuff. Bathe in this. Just pour it on your crown. So, but I'll put this in the diffuser in the car. Valor goes on our wrist. We actually have a Valor roll-on in the console of our car because prior to every game, every practice, they roll it on their wrist. They put their wrist together and they smell it and they say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Like that is their thing. No matter what happens, God still loves you. No matter if you win or lose, you are still a child of the King of the Most High. So you are worth so much. So that's what I want them to get, the winning feeling from that. Now, dads are a little different, more competitive. Anyway, so we do that. That's our mentally preparing. Ningxia Red, it's already been mentioned a couple times. If you're not using it, if your kids aren't drinking it, you need to invest in it. Ningxia Red, and then something that we had to start doing last year because our school starts sports for middle school kids. They have to be there at 6:55 a.m. And then the high school kids go in the afternoon. So middle school sports, they don't have time to eat breakfast like before they go. Plus they're going to be running and stuff. So we do Pure Protein, and I will make them a Pure Protein Complete shake, and they will drink that on the way. That's also just a quick breakfast. If you don't have time and you're in a hurry, do a Pure Protein Complete breakfast. That is a great option for moms on the go. The supplements that we use whenever they are doing sports and whenever, even for cognitive, she mentioned Ningxia Nitro. It's a little tube, and I literally had to turn my camera off a while ago because I couldn't find it. I was looking for it. I think my 6-year-old took it off of my desk a while ago. And so, but this is like candy in our house, okay? And so it is real sweet, but this helps their stamina. This helps their cognitive processing things. So even I can tell a difference in my kids when they're in sports. You have to make quick decisions a lot of times. When the ball is thrown to you or when it's passed to you, you have to make quick decisions. So Nitro, all the way for us. They get a Nitro before games especially. They have, now these just came out not too long ago, the Vitality Drops. And so we drink a BPA-free bottle, water bottle, and we put the Vitality Drops in this. My kids love that. I literally have to hide these because they will like go through a bottle like all the time. But they keep this in their locker even. And their water bottles, I don't let them, I'm that mom, I don't let them drink out of the water fountain because I'm like, go fill up your water bottle and drink out of that. Do not drink out of the water fountain, especially since Rona's around. So, but I especially am like, do not even touch it. Most of them are roped off, if you've noticed. And so anyway, but at the same time, this is what we use for them to stay hydrated. That is a key thing for athletes, is to stay hydrated. Or actually during sports, they will do peppermint on their body. We were at a baseball game this weekend, and it's like 150 degrees in Oklahoma. And so we were all, as we were sitting in the stands, putting peppermint on our shoulders, on our neck, but especially my kids that are in the dugout and those catchers that wear all the gear and stuff. And in any sport that they have a lot of stuff on them. But honestly, if you put peppermint on your wrist and hold it there, it actually will help your oxygen levels. And so it's great for swimmers and things like that too. Whenever we are doing we've got our sports, they're prepared, they play during the game, they drink all their water after sports. So after sports, I love that Madison already talked about an Epsom salt bath. That's what we do. We do Epsom salt baths, and something I learned recently is you can add Mega-Cal to your bath water. And so I have started adding a scoop of Mega-Cal plus the Epsom salt to our bath water. But after a big game, when their muscles are tired and they're tired from running, they come home and I let them soak in a bath for 10, 15, 20 minutes, Epsom salt with the Mega-Cal. And also, we wash our body with Morning Start shower gel, and I didn't want to bring it because it's nasty, but the Thieves bar of soap. That's what's in their shower. Why? Because some sports are contact sports and people are sweaty and nasty. And I don't want those people's germs on your body, right? Do we understand that? Even in boys' bathrooms and locker rooms. Oh, gross. This has lemongrass in it. Lemongrass will help with that. I also make a body spray that this actually is a little bit of Epsom salt, ton of RC and lemongrass, and a little bit of witch hazel. And this goes in their locker room at the for sports. And so even at school, I don't want to send my expensive soap to school. So when they're out of the shower and locker, they spray this on their body, they spray it on their feet, and that helps with all other people's nasties as well. Then we do muscle recovery and bone recovery. Deep Relief is our go-to because it's a roller. My boys just prefer rollers. They just love rollers. However, if you're new and you've just got the starter kit oils, you're going to want to get your Pan Away and your Stress Away out, because both of these are great for applying to your body after sports, and it makes your body feel great. And so putting them on, not waiting till the next day and going, oh my gosh, I can't move. Oh, I'm really sore. Or in the middle of the night, whenever kids have leg cramps and stuff, you don't want to wait till then. So this is, and you can tell these are well loved and well used. This is Ortho Ease and Ortho Sport. On game days or really hard practice days, this is what I use before my kids, like whenever they're laying in bed and we're getting ready for bed, they're talking to me. This is a great thing to, as a mom, just mom sense and mom heart for a second, to massage your kids' legs and arms. And I do relaxation with my youngest one because he's not into sports yet. But I do the Ortho Sport with their legs. Man, they will tell you all kinds of stuff. They'll tell you all kinds of stories, all kinds of things. So that is what we do. And then the CBD muscle rub. A lot of times we'll put that on if they have an injury after the game, something like that. I injured my ribs at convention when this came out, and it was amazing. The recovery that it was for me, it was great. And so, yes, I said add 1 scoop of Mega-Cal to your bath water along with the Epsom salt, and that will ramp up that magnesium. So there you have it. That's Sports Mom, and that's how we roll with doing things the sports way. And so I hope that you found that helpful. And so I'm going to pass it over to Anna, and we'll hear what she has to say.
That was good. This is awesome, you guys. Like, I have like 2 pages of notes. This is fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to talk about kids on the spectrum. I have 7 kids. So my last one just rejoined us through foster care. So he'll be number 7, and it looks like he's staying. So that's good. It's fun to have a toddler in the house again. Okay, so my 8-year-old is actually on the spectrum, and the great thing and the not so great thing is that if you meet one child on the spectrum, you've met one child. That's why they call it a spectrum. Like, what's going to work for one is not going to work for the other. So it takes a lot of experimenting. And if any of you have kids on the spectrum, you understand that. So there's a couple resources I did want to throw out to you. And I can't find the book, and I'm super annoyed by it because it's like a gem, but I remembered the title. It's called Healing the New Childhood Epidemics. It's on autism, ADHD, asthma, and allergies. Fantastic, by Dr. Kenneth Bach. So I would totally recommend that. And then some of you maybe heard of Temple Grandin, The Autistic Brain. Fantastic book. She herself is autistic, and she wrote this book. So anyway, I've heard her speak. Anyway, so I'll tell you what I do specifically, but everybody has kind of told you, yes, Kenneth Bach, B-O-K-E, or B-O-C-K, sorry. BOCK. So overall lifestyle for these kids and all kids, nutrition, a lot of kids on the spectrum are gluten and dairy sensitive. So playing with that, paying attention to that. Sleep, getting enough water, movement, fresh air. Are they pooping? And then toxic load. So we talk a lot about this in these classes, just reducing your susceptibility to things in the environment, things you're eating, things in your house, cleaning products, all that kind of stuff. What is in your environment that is increasing their toxic load? So these kids tend to have a greater susceptibility to toxic burden. They just, and some of that goes back to, and if you guys don't know about MTHFR, the gene, like you guys need to look into that. It's a gene that regulates the MTHFR enzyme, and it's more than just detoxing, but it does, but that's what it involves, is these kids, their body cannot get rid of this toxic burden. And so it causes all these problems, and things accumulate. And, you know, we have kids that were typical until they're a certain age, and all of a sudden, like, well, all of a sudden, it wasn't all of a sudden, but all of a sudden the parents are noticing, oh my goodness, they're regressing. It's that toxic burden. So paying attention to that. And the book that I suggested by Kenneth Bach goes into a lot of what could be causing that. And it's fantastic. So, you know, really pay attention to that. So the Ningxia Red, CBD, you know, you can do that topically and ingest it. Unwind, we've had people talk about that. It has 5-HTP and L-theanine in it, which are fantastic. Super B. So these kids who do have issues with methylation, they generally need more folate and methylcobalamin, the B12. Now, I'm going to take it one step further, and some kids also struggle with overmethylation. So if you give them Super B and you notice things are worse, that's probably not for them, because they can actually overmethylate and you need a different form of the vitamins. So I don't want to like give you too much information where you're confused, but pay attention to that. And some of these kids are super sensitive, so you just have to really pay attention. Vitamin D, we do vitamin D with our Bentley. And then a lot of these kids are deficient in vitamin A. And then oils specific to your child, whatever that is. So for school, like our kid, my son takes his blanket and he sometimes just leaves it in his backpack, but if he's having a meltdown, he goes and gets it. So spraying it with oils. So Bentley has been a little, I don't know, he doesn't want me to put oils on him anymore, and I'm sort of annoyed by that. So what I've done is I've just made a spray bottle with whatever oil I decide, or whatever oil I think will be helpful, put some witch hazel in there, and I spray it on his bed or spray it on his blankie. And so he's getting that. Every once in a while I'll go and spray it on his head, and he doesn't like that. But I think it's still really good. So I think I'm gonna have to figure out a bribe. Like, he loves electronics and I don't appreciate that so much, but it might be a way to get him to let me do things like Indoflex. And I think Madison talked about that. Fantastic. Like, if I could have every kid on Indoflex and Ningxia, like, that would be so fantastic, but he won't take Ningxia either. So he's very particular. And so I have to find, like, I have to hide things in his drink, hide things in his food, and he can pick up on things very well. So, like, I've tried the CBD, and I can only put maybe 1 or 2 drops in his water or his juice. Otherwise he knows. So because we can do it topically too, I might have to try that. So I tell you what, you have to be sneaky. Like, we have to be sneaky moms when it comes to stuff like this. Okay, let me look. Okay, so for us specifically, I'm going to, for school, doing the transition object. So something he feels secure with at home, his blankets. I'm going to spray him. He's going to take him to school. And that's hopefully going to help ease the anxiety and the feelings he has at school. So he can smell that, smell the oils, and hopefully, you know, that's going to be helpful for him. I'm going to bribe him with the Endoflex. I'm going to get that on his feet and get one thing, I think it was, I don't remember which one said it, the vetiver. Oh, it was Joy. I'm going to try as much of that kind of stuff as I can. We've been spoiled. I don't know if spoiled is quite the right word. These last 6 months, just being home. And so I think a lot of you guys would agree we're going to have to start getting into a routine with our kids and get that going. And especially for these kind of kiddos, we're going to have to start earlier because mornings are an absolute disaster at our house. He's moody, he's dysregulated. And so just getting those things moving earlier before the school routine starts. But that's something you guys already know. I do enzymes in his water. He can't taste those, so that's fantastic. And like I said, vitamin D. And then one of the things that I think Joy mentioned too is AminoWise. And I'm not sure I can get him to take that, but for you guys in the nitro, if you can get your kids to take those, fantastic. Like, I think that would be super, super helpful. I think that's all I have to share. I hope that gave you guys some tips. You know, I could go on and on about just, you know, chiropractic care would be fantastic. There's lots of things, but making sure you're doing it all. It's not going to be one thing with any kid. It's not going to be one thing for these kids. So it has to be a bunch of little things that are going to all work together. It's, you know, it's a whole thing. It's a holistic thing. It's not one thing. So there's no quick fix, unfortunately, but we can do this. So hang tight.
Great tips. Those are awesome. Those are
Thank you.
awesome. So good. And like you said, it's, you know, some oils that work for my kids last year don't work this year. So it's just a process of elimination and what works now for their body. And so it's just using that, being intuitive and watching your kids and how they react. And so that's a great thing.
Yep.
All right, Melinda, we're going to pass it over to you.
Okay, I am going to talk about gut health. Woohoo, exciting stuff. I get to talk about poop. So I also have 3 boys and I have 1 daughter. And it is actually my daughter who classified as autoimmune disease. But my 3rd one was diagnosed this last year as acute anxiety and OCD. And both kids have very similar, she also has an anxiety OCD diagnosis. Anyway, what we have found, all the ladies previously talked about, CBD's been huge. With Abigail and Benjamin, the Unwind product is not a good idea at bedtime for them. It actually works better for them to give it to them in the morning. So just know, for some kids, it can cause acute nightmares. We learned that one the hard way, which it helps Nathaniel, my youngest, sleep really well. But the older 2, it was definitely a daytime thing, and it helps along with the CBD and calming anxiety, which has been really, really interesting. It's a natural serotonin booster, which both kids have tested pretty low in, and it has a lot to do with gut issues. So like 70% of your serotonin, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, Anna, is produced in your gut, in your digestive system. Serotonin is like your happy hormone for your brain. And if your digestive system is off, which a lot of our kids with sensory issues, autism, anxiety, have compromised digestive systems. My oldest actually has an autoimmune digestive disease called Crohn's, and severely impaired. And so what we have done over the last 5 years to help to balance some of that naturally. We see a GI doctor. She's actually on a medication for her Crohn's. But other things that we have really worked on and that it has helped with the whole inflammatory process of that is food enzymes. And I see that across the board with all 4 of my kids, not just my Crohn's kid. So when your gut is out of balance, everything else goes off. Your hormones go off, your happy hormones go off. You know, your anxiety goes up. Lots of different issues when your gut is off. And so food enzymes help to break down food. And a lot of our kids have food issues, you know, sensory issues, texture issues. My 16-year-old takes, or she's 17, I guess, 17 and a half, she would remind me, does an adult enzyme. She does a couple of different ones during the day. But my other 2 boys take Mightyzyme, the kids' Mightyzyme, and it's a chewable one. And actually, Nathaniel, my almost 12-year-old, loves these. Like, he'll ask for a couple, and I'm like, buddy, you only need 1 per meal. And it has had a significant impact on his asthma as well. When the gut is happy, other areas of the body are happy as well. So if you've got allergies and asthma sort of stuff, maybe focus on the digestive system. Like, if you should be pooping every day, not every other to every 3 to, you know, once or twice a week. What goes in needs to come out the same number of times during the week. Look up the Bristol stool chart, BRISTOL. It's something that we have to discuss at our house on a regular basis, and was one of the first things that the GI doctor goes to. That's what it should look like. Just FYI, we talk about poop in our house a lot. And I will notice a difference if they're not taking their food enzymes. It changes their ability to eliminate poop. And so food enzymes is actually one of the top things that food enzymes like Ningxia food enzymes Ningxia food enzymes Ningxia. If we go on vacation, I have 2 to 3 different types of food enzymes that I take with me that we have figured out works for our family. The other thing that is really, really crucial, and you've heard the others talk about it, is probiotics. I like the easy button for my kids. Again, have to hide this one from all of them. And I have teenagers. It tastes like a pixie stick. So you just tear the top off, dump it in. You can put it in water. You could put it, actually, I've tried it in juice and it's way too sweet. But I like it in water, and my kids honestly like to just toss it back like a pixie stick. The Unwind product is same thing. It looks like a little pixie stick, but I like it stirred in water as well. So probiotics, we primarily do at bedtime. They have a Life9 supplement. This probiotic is a good one in the morning because it has a prebiotic in it as well. And prebiotics help your body to break down food as well and help you with probiotics. So just kind of look up some of that information and research. Another thing that we have discovered too is CBD has helped, in particular, these 2 kids with their digestive systems. And then the main oils that we use, okay, so this is not the Vitality oil, this is Digize, but we have a Vitality oil on the counter. My daughter, every single day, does a capsule with this, about 2 to 3 drops in an empty kosher gel cap that is enteric coated, so it makes it past the stomach acid and into the intestines. And she does 2 to 3 drops of this every day, and with frankincense and copaiba, and it has been huge for her overall inflammatory process and just calming the digestive system down. And so I don't even tell her this anymore. She just goes in the kitchen. I actually have an oil rack that's just right there on my kitchen counter, so it's out there at all times. But sometimes, like for school, Digize, I will just say, is not the happiest smelling oil. Even after 7 years, it is not my favorite. I'm also not a black licorice fan. My sister loves black licorice. She likes Digi. So fennel is a main ingredient in here, not me. However, I have no less than 3 bottles on my shelf because I never ever want to be without this. We went to, we went on vacation. This has been like 2 years ago. We went on vacation like 2 weeks ago, and like this goes everywhere with us. But we were eating out with cousins and grandparents at a restaurant. She accidentally got into some food that has dairy in it. Dairy is an instant pain for her. I mean, it can cause serious issues. In the past, when we didn't have our tools, it could mean like a couple of days in bed, guys. When we got back to the hotel and realized that she'd gotten into something, I immediately gave her 4 to 5 drops of Digize in a capsule. She popped like 4 or 5 food enzymes, lots and lots of water. An hour later, a couple more drops of Digize, a couple more enzymes. Peppermint rubbed all over her body, her belly, not body, but belly. And she was in the bathroom a good chunk of the night. But by the next day, when we were all up, and we were at a water park, so Crohn's and water park, Crohn's acting up and water parks don't mix at all. She was able to join us for the rest of the day at the water park. Without those tools, she would have been in the hotel room, if not in the ER, getting some other fast-acting medication to slow some things down. So huge for us. I mean, they just go everywhere with us. We've got Digize, peppermint. She primarily uses peppermint in the mornings if she's going to do anything topically, because she doesn't want to go to school smelling like Digize, and she doesn't mind peppermint so much. I mean, those have been really huge for us. We notice that the anxiety levels are more stable when their digestive systems are more stable. Their concentration and focus is more stable when their digestive systems are stable. Ask your kids how often they're pooping. At first they were like, Mom, oh my gosh, you can't talk about that. But poop is a regular talk in our house now. They ask, complain about a headache. And I'm like, when was the last time you pooped? Like, not everything's related to poop, Mom. Well, you know what? A lot of this stuff actually is. So, at first I was like, I'll never be the poop joke mom. We totally are. I totally am the poop joke mom. And it's not just because I'm a boy mom, because I've learned just how crucial it is to overall health. So I think that's the end of my talk. But the main, food enzymes are absolutely crucial.
That is awesome. That is great. Such good talk. And I being a boy mom, they seem at our house, they seem to always let us know whenever things are going all types of bodily
poop or water, or both. Have you pooped and have you been drinking your water?
Exactly. Okay, so a few questions real quick. The vegetable capsules she mentioned, someone asked what type of vegetable capsules, where do you get them? And Young Living has these vegetable capsules. And also enzymes, what enzymes and which ones to take and things like that. Young Living has a number of enzymes. And last week on 7 oily days, the number 7 oily days, if you'll go to Facebook, there's a public page. We did a Facebook page on digestive support and your digestion. Yes, can you see that? I don't know if she can see it. It's on her. Melinda's trying to show on her phone.
I don't know if you can see that very well because it's kind of glary, but 7 Oily Days public page.
Yes. And that broke down all the enzymes that we have. And so all enzymes are created differently, but also created for different reasons. And so, all right. So we are so glad that you joined us tonight. And we're so glad that you are here. Melinda, would you like to share with them how they can get these oils and when they can get them and who they need to contact?
Okay. Oh yeah, that's my job. Okay. Yes. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We really appreciated your just respecting your time and your time spent with us. In order to be able to purchase from Young Living or get this, you need to get with the person who invited you to the class tonight. Young Living is a wholesale membership company. Think of like Costco or Sam's Club. You get 24% off of the retail price with your wholesale membership. Or you can order retail, but either way, you need the member number of the person who invited you to the class tonight if you are not already a member. They have different starter kit levels. I started with the oil starter kit, and that was 7.5 years ago. Came with 9 oils and no diffuser. Now you get for $150, and now you get 12 oils with a medical grade diffuser for $165. So it's pretty awesome. It's a lot better deal than when we started out with 7 years ago. So they have a CBD starter kit. We started, and if you're already a member, you can just order wholesale in your account, but you can pick, I believe you can pick whether you get cool mint or there's like 3 different flavors, right, Molly? Am I correct in that you
That's
can pick
correct.
with the
Yeah.
CBD kit?
Customize
Okay.
the CBD.
We did the cool mint because it pairs well with digestion. I have heard that the citrus ones for some people work better with the anxiety and that sort of stuff. So, because citrus oils are, citrus oils are like happy oils as well. They're just mood boosting oils. So kind of, talk with the person inviting you to the class about that. They also have a thieves. We didn't really talk about thieves tonight, but, cleaning up stuff out of your home and getting rid of that toxic burden to the body also is going to help, in all seriousness, help with the overall load that our kids have to deal with on a daily basis, and us. So they have a thieves starter kit, which is basically like a home revamp kit for $125. The Ningxia Red that we talked about, it's $135. And then they have a $35 kit that is basically like your card to shop at wholesale. And then you can order anything after that with, you could customize a kit, like your own personalized kit with the person that you were invited to the class with. But all of those give you the same 24% wholesale pricing. And so any one of those are okay to start with. You can start with a couple. And another really cool thing that they have is what is called a monthly Essential Rewards wellness program. It is not required to become a member. In the beginning, I was like, I don't know if I can do a monthly wellness box. Guys, I did it right off the bat because we used it. It worked. I had to reorder. But you truly could just order one time a year from Young Living and keep your wholesale account. There's not quarterly quotas. There's not monthly quotas. Like that's a really cool part about Young Living. The fun perk is the Essential Rewards. Think of it as like your frequent flyers. Like I have a specific credit card that I shop with so that I can rack up rewards points and rack up those miles, even though nobody's flying anywhere right now. It's for my 20th anniversary trip in like another year is what I'm holding those points for. Well, if you get on Essential Rewards and you create a monthly wellness box, it's at $50 before shipping and tax every month, which we order our toothpaste, like our CBD, our probiotics, our food enzymes, my Thieves products. It's actually really, really easy for me to hit the 50. I hit way more than that every single month, but you get 10% back for your first 3 months on every order. So just because I'm not a math person, let's say that you ordered $100 for the first 3 months. On every $100 order, you're going to get $10 back. So it's $30 by the end of month 3 that you've got in rewards back. Months 4 through 24, you get 20% back. Okay, my credit card doesn't even give me 10% back, let alone 20% back. So spend $100, get $20 back. That's awesome. If you've been on their Essential Rewards program for 2 years, you get 25% back on every order. So spend $100, get $25. And guys, just a little secret, while Joy was talking about CBD, I was like, wait a minute, I have 200 free points. I can get a whole chunk of Ningxia Red with free points. So while Joy was talking, I actually cashed in a couple $100 of points. And I have 4 bottles of Ningxia Red coming to my door and a box of 30. And I paid that much, 0. Because my shipping, I had a couple credits on my account as well. So actually, I think I paid 25 cents is what I paid. So those points are huge. So, and you can save them up for a long time and cash them out, or, you know, some of us struggle to save our points for very long. But again, you can cancel that at any time as well. So there's no penalties for canceling. There's just perks for joining. So yeah, that is, my brain just went blank. There's a lightning flash outside and I got distracted. I'm like, oh, squirrel. Anyway, yeah, that's how you get started with Young Living. Get with the person who invited you to the class tonight. If you had an account previously and it has expired, you can reopen your account with just an order as well. And that's really cool. And so the person who invited you to the class tonight, get with them, chat with them. They're there to help you. We have a whole Facebook group called 7 Oily Days, that 7 Oily Days Essentials, that has tons and tons of these classes in here. But Molly talked about the public page where you can go in, and we've got classes in there that you can share with family and friends. They're asking you questions. You can point them to that page and then they come back to you. And so it's pretty cool.